I'm Devorah Wallen, and I'd like to share my Tea for Two, my Torah thought, for 2 minutes, more or less. This week is the portion of Naso, which means count or literally lift up. The first verses of our parsha read, "The Lord spoke to Moses saying, Naso es rosh, lift the heads, or count, taking a census." What is the connection with lifting the head and the census? What else can we learn from this strange wording, lift the heads? In Hasidic philosophy, there is a principle that the mind, when calm and stilled, can rule the emotions and urges. The Mishnah in Ethics of the Fathers, Pirkei Avos, says, "Who is the hero? The one who conquers his inclination." Our job in lifting our heads, truly making an internal census, a counting of ourselves, is to make certain that we transcend our emotional knee-jerk, visceral inclinations, strengthening our mind to choose wise thought, speech, or behavior in the moment. When a person is in this state, his intellect informs his emotions and can even train the body. In Parshas Naso last year, we mentioned an amazing Kabbalistic teaching about the word melech, which means king. When written up and down instead of from right to left, we can see the upright stature of the king within the holy letters. The mem on top stands for moach, which means intellect. The lamed stands for lev, which means heart. And the kaf stands for the word kaved, liver, corresponding to the bodily urges and lower inclinations. When one is in the most lofty and regal state, his or her prefrontal cortex reigns supreme. However, when the emotions, or as in some neuroscience language, the limbic system takes over, the lamed, or heart, the lev, gets transposed on top of the mem, permuting the word to lemech, which means fool. When we act rashly or emotionally without the temperates of intellect, we err. The third permutation, kelem, brings the kaf on top. This is when the body gets too activated, we may be out of control and do embarrassing things. This word is in the grace after meals. Velo nikalem la'olam va'ed. Please let us never ever be disgraced. When a person descends to the state when the body takes over, the stress response may cause our intellect to falter. In this state, we do destructive and disgraceful things. There's a story about the Manchester Rav that shows this incredible capacity of intellect ruling emotions. Once he trudged to shul on a very cold day. As soon as he arrived, he turned right around and went back home. He did not even stay in the synagogue. On the way, someone asked him about his strange behavior. He explained he wasn't sure if what kept him from going to shul was his health or his laziness. Determined not to let his laziness get the better of him, he got dressed and set out to shul. That way, he knew that it really was his health that was causing his weakness. He then felt justified in going back home to convalesce. Naso es rosh is God's command this week that we lift our heads, be wise, use our intellect to respond responsibly. We are response-able, having the ability to have the presence to respond wisely and appropriately, especially during these strange times when the world is seeing cataclysmic things, which I call PMS, pre-Mashiach syndrome. May Hashem help Israel and its people stay safe with our heads uplifted, as Psalm 102 says about this imminent time. Atasakum terachem Tzion ki es l'chanana ki vo moed. You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to be gracious to her. The appointed time has come.